Silver. Today is Wednesday, December 7th. Welcome to December and the month that I start going crazy finishing up my holiday knitting, which I seem to make all the projects seem a little bit crazier and crazier every year. So, wish me luck, y'all. First off, thank you to those that have joined me for the first time. Thank you for giving me a shot. Welcome to the new kids in the Ravelry group. I did see you join, so thank you for that. Everyone else who hasn't, please join in. I won't bite, I promise. I'd like to hear from you, and if you have any questions or suggestions or anything like that, I do welcome feedback. So thank you for that. Welcome back to those that have checked out the podcast before. I do appreciate you coming back as well. Wow, November seems to have flown by, but at the same time, it seems to stand still. You'll see what I mean as I continue. I do have a lot to get through, so just grab your craft of choice and also your beverage, and away I go. So, for favorite things, I'm actually going to start off with something that I'm not really a fan of. One Saturday morning at about 3 a.m., MTI and I were woken up by a loud noise, which sounded to me like something had fallen really hard out in our backyard, and something that sounded a little off for our neighborhood, especially. When we looked out, we noticed that one of the cars behind the condo had actually caught fire and it was pretty much spreading through the fence a few doors down from our unit. We pretty much watched the whole thing from our bedroom window. That's the picture that you see there. Basically, we watched until the firefighters had done their investigation and left. Then MTI decided he wanted to go talk to the owner of the car and see if they had more information about how it started, etc. Me, I was just commenting on social media and taking pictures. I have to tell you, I looked outside today. Our fence still has not been fixed, I'd like to point out. So, on to the nicer things that have happened this month. Whirlwind vacations. Yes, as you all probably remember, my mom, my sister, and I, we went down to Florida between the 13th to the 16th of November. It was pretty much a whirlwind vacation, all right. I did write a full entry up on my blog, which is www.dreamysilver2112.com. If you want to read all about it, I do suggest going there right away. I'll actually put it right at the bottom of the screen so that way you can see it. I included a lot of pictures that both my mom and I decided to document the trip. So a lot of the photo credit actually I'm going to tell you goes to my mom because she was a picture taking fiend. Me on the other hand, I was limited to my phone because dumbass that I am, I forgot my camera at home. Let's see. So for another thing that I liked, definitely this month was visiting with family. Visiting with family is always a favorite pastime of mine, especially during the holidays. So for Thanksgiving, I did spend time with MTI, my parents and siblings. We had a semi-quiet turkey day with our usual turkey, football, board games, and pie. Board games are pretty much a staple, and pie, yes. Let's see. We did also have another day that we call Pi Day. So, never mind Black Friday in my family, we celebrate what we call Pi Day. It's basically a day where we have a large amount of family come by and have pies of all kind. We do appetizers and and wings and pizza and tons and tons of pies and other assorted desserts. So basically, we consume a lot of food and we have lots of wonderful company and we hang out together. During the rest of Thanksgiving weekend, I did spend every moment I possibly could with my brother, who is in from California, as well as my cousin Erin and her husband Greg, who were up for Thanksgiving as well. Their son, Nick Christian, is super cute and he's growing so fast. I absolutely love spending time with them. All right, so let's move on to Silver's Whip Down. Let's just look back a little bit on my November perspective. Basically, the total yardage I got was 1,780 yards in a total of three different projects. I will discuss those later. That way, they're kind of fresh and new for you when they come around. So for November, a little bit of administrative here. Nobody actually ended up putting on any FOs on the Ravelry thread, so I'm going to go ahead and roll those over into December. So if it turns out that nobody posts even in December, I'm just going to pick people randomly from our Ravelry group. So make sure you join. You never know. And since nobody entered, it does kind of make me sad, but I do understand, I'm still kind of getting things going on the blog as well. So don't worry about that. Let's look forward to December. I will continue it in December, so just make sure you enter all of your finished projects this month. You will be eligible for prizes in either way. So is a new prize that I'm putting up for the month of, actually two new prizes I'm putting up for the month of December. One is going to be a holiday bag from Molly Klein Designs. It will be coming in the mail soon, so I will share a picture by the time the by the time I have to roll out for January and pick our prize winners. I'm also going to be adding another pattern from Ravelry of $10 or under. There are a total of 8 now in the pot, so please make sure you at least join the group. I wouldn't want you to miss out on the possibility of getting a free pattern because you never know. I am also going to be still putting up for grabs the Miss Babs Yowza skein, so please make sure you get in for that as well. And we'll also be putting in the stitch markers as well. So there are lots and lots of prizes to be had. So please get in on it. All right. Now that we've gone through the administrative of Silver's Whip Down, let's go on to what I finished this month. The first I actually called Pink Weave Lesson 3. It gave me a total yardage count of 1,068. It is the basket weave baby blanket. It's a pattern that I wrote. The yarn is the Bernat Baby Softie in the baby pink colorway. Wow, that's a mouthful. I used the size US 7 29-inch circulars by Susan Bates. They're basically what I like to use for this type of pattern. The second thing I finished was the Judy's Wrapped Up in Purple socks. They are 270 yards. The Toe Up Socks of the Difference by Wendy D. Johnson in the purple colorway of the Simply Socks Yarn Company Simply Sock. On size US 2, they are two 16-inch circulars, so you know. The third thing that I did finish this month, is what I'm calling Suki Squash Blossoms. Wow, that's also a mouthful. The yardage I got on that was 424 yards. Wow. The pattern is the upstairs, downstairs, the cowl in 3 sizes by Paula Emmons Frizzell. I used the Squash Blossoms colorway of Miss Babs Yowza, size US 7 Susan Bates 29-inch circulars. The picture that you're seeing now is actually MDI holding up the width of the cowl because it is very, very huge and I absolutely love it. It'll be nice and squishy for the intended recipient. I won't say who it's from because that's going to be a surprise. All right, so we're going to be moving on to whips or works in progress. There is 2 categories this time, the new since last time, which I'll show first, and then the ones that I did a fair amount of progress on, or in some cases not much at all, and that way so you know what that as well. The first new one that seemed to jump on the needles and I really, really liked working on it, and I'm sad that I am out of needle space essentially on this one. I'm calling Burning the Blue. As I mentioned, I did have to stop just before the beginning of the second section. Or sorry, just after the beginning of the second section, you see the little stripes that are beginning. Mostly because I was just running out of room on the needles, and I really hope that I will have needles clear so I can get back to that soonish. But I also need to work on other things before the new year, hence why it got delayed there. The pattern is called Ashburn by Melanie Berg. Ah, I love this pattern. I'm sorry. I really love her pattern. I love her aesthetic. There are several more that will jump on the needles in the new year, hopefully. I'm using Yummy 2 Ply by Miss Babs in the denim, Spiras, and tartish colorway. I believe the tartish is on there now, and then the spirits is the white that you'll see. The denim comes in later as a third color. I'm using size 6 marbles, the 24-inch fixed circulars. Now you can tell why I didn't have enough room. The second thing that seemed to jump on my needles, and I really, really want to work on this, is the Laurel Eyes Mystery KAL. It's on the Gilmore Girls binge watching KAL that came out just shortly after Netflix released the new Girls series. The pattern is by Renegade Knitter. It's temporary called Laurel Eyes Mystery KAL. I'm using two different colorways, the Lorna's Laces Shepherd Sock. The first color, the lighter color, is actually called Laurel Eyes, which is awesome. And the second color is denim. And I am in about 10 rotations of that secondary pattern. There's going to be a third clue that I have not started yet, but I'll show you when I get to that. It is being done on a size 40-inch Chigu red lace fixed circulars. Oh, I love these needles and I love this project and I cannot wait to get back to it. But yet again, I have other things ready to go. The next thing that I am actually doing as a test knit, it is called the Pretty Pumpkin Adult Hat, as I'm calling it. The pattern itself is not released on Ravelry yet, and I am not very far into it, just the very brim of the hat. It is a pattern by Mercury Zelda. Eventually, she'll be releasing it on Ravelry. It's called the Pretty Pumpkin Hat. It does come in multiple sizes. I am testing the adult hat because I am selfish and I want this for myself. I'm using two different colors. They are Red Heart Super Saver, pretty much scraps. Not really sure what the colors are, as I lost the tags like ages ago. But I'm using an orange and I'm using a green. Obviously, pumpkin, hello. I'm using a size 8 16-inch wooden circulars. I think they are clover. I cannot remember because details on the needles are gone and packages long gone. I've had them for so long. I use them pretty much every time I want to do a hat pattern. The next thing that has become on my needles, I am calling the Coral Lives Upstairs. Oops, sorry. Here it is. Haha. It's the also the upstairs, downstairs, a cowl in three sizes by the Paula Emmons Fuzel. I'm using this time the Miss Babs Yowza skein and colorway coral. Absolutely adorable. I love it. And that stitch marker that you see there actually is a snowflake. So it kind of matches the season. And I want to match the other cowls that I've been doing. Um, I'll show them in at the very end once I finally finish this one kind of together. Basically for two of my recipients plus for me because I will have always wanted that pattern for myself. It's also being done in a size 7 Susan Bates 29-inch circular needles. So it's the same. It's basically the same needles. Once I finished, moved on to the next one. The last thing that jumped on my needles since the last time we spoke, I'm calling It's So Great and Mint. The pattern is the Chevron Baby Blanket by Espace Tricot, I believe is how you pronounce that. I do apologize if I'm getting that wrong. It is essentially a free pattern that has chevrons in it. The pattern itself calls for 5 different colorways. The intended recipient only wanted the mint and gray as they are decorating the room for their new baby in those 2 colorways. It's actually for somebody that I work with. The 2 colors that I chose for this particular project are Vanna's Choice yarn by Lions brand in the silver gray and mint colorways. That is being done on a size US 9 Knitter's Prize Cubics, the 29-inch circulars, and I have to tell you, I am pretty much bumping up against the end of the needle. You can kind of see in the picture itself. So, on to older projects that got lot, a lot of love this time around. The first one is the Fiery New England pattern that I'm doing. It's the Autumn in New England pattern by Susan Stomberg out of 2 colorways. The Lions brand Pound of Love, which is the white colorway you see, and the secondary color, Cardinal Red, is actually by Red Heart. It's Comfort Sport. So you can see in the picture a little bit better when I lay it down like that, the two different colors and how they are coming out together. It is on a size US 6 Knitter's Pride Cubics Patina 40-inch circulars. What you're seeing now is the second rotation of three in that red stripe there. And then I will do three more rotations of the pattern in the white, then one more in the red, and then I am going to bind off. It is over 600 stitches now currently on the needles, and it's a little big for the 40-inch circulars. I might have to invest in 60 inches, but we'll see how that goes. The next project that got a little bit of love, but not much this time around, is another Autumn in New England by Susan Stromberg pattern. I'm currently making this for another recipient for the holidays. Just out of the second color, there are so many different colors of blue that I'm planning on using, but right now the colorway on the top that I'm using is Mince Prince by Red Heart Comfort. Just so you know, there are a total of five that I'm going to be using. So you can see the two colors that are there now. I'm also using this US 6's Knitter's Pride Cubic Platina 40-inch circulars. I literally just moved that onto those 40-inch needles, so they should go a little bit faster now. The next thing actually got a little bit of love actually in the on my way down to Florida. It's called Zombie Moons. It is the Weight Shawl number 4 by Susan B. Anderson. It is out of a Yowza skein by Miss Babs called Zombie Honeymoon. Oh, I absolutely love this. The US 8s, the metal circs that I've used actually have been well worn as well, so they were good for flying on the plane with me the first time, even though it didn't get much love while it was gone. The next thing that I worked quite a bit on, I got home pretty much from my trip and didn't want to stop working on it, is the Frozen Bow Ties Are Cool, which is the Bow Ties Are Cool pattern by Jenny Sandopietro. There are two different colors in this. You have the Supernatural Yarns Siren Sock in the Frozen colorway. And the second color, the red color, is the Dreamy Color Smushy in the In Vino Veritas colorway. See? Emphasis on the right syllable there. It's being done on a US 3 Nova Platina 47-inch circulars. What you're seeing now, I wanted to zoom in a little bit so that way you can see the pattern that's emerging now. I just put in the row. The red row actually down below there represents the doctor's wife, and then above that is the all the rest of the companions and the bow ties, because bow ties are cool, man. The fifth thing that also got a lot of love this time around is the Hitching a Ride on the Great Train shawl that I've been working on for another recipient for the holidays. The pattern is Hitchhiker by Martina Bem. And the pattern does have little points. I have gotten up to 26 points, so that's 5 that I've gotten since the last time we spoke. It's out of the Gray Marl Pratton's Croy colorway. I'm using a size 6 Knitter's Pride Cubics Platina 40-inch circulars as well on that one. And I cannot wait to be done with this pattern. It's one of those things where the rows keep getting longer and longer, and after a while you're just like, okay, I'm done. I'm almost to that point. I'm thinking that the ball of yarn that I am using will be enough to do at least 2 or 3 more points, and then I probably will call it good. So I should get on that. The other thing that got a lot of love this time around was what I'm calling it Ketter Dance. You can't really see it from here, but there are multiple sections of the patterning itself. There's some garter ridges and the little bit of a moss stitch. I'll show you close-ups later when I finish. Right now I am about 3 rows from doing the lacy section on the outside. That I do have to put aside probably until the beginning of Stash Dash next year, mostly because I've got other things that need to be done first. All right. So yours truly did spend a lot of time in the frog pond this month. A lot of times I had to rip back on things. More importantly, the coral lives upstairs. That had a lot of twisted stitches, a lot of grief, and a lot of me saying, "Oh, screw this project. I don't want to do it." But I wanted the project too much, so I just kept at it until I finally got it. The second thing that caused a lot of grief, I had an idea to start making slippers for people in the family. And part of the problem is that I have never made a slipper before, so I was going to try one of Megan Williams' patterns, the slippers, Solomas or whatever. I am going to nix this idea mostly because I realize now I had the wrong gauge. I should have gone up at least two needle sizes compared to what she said because I know I am a tight knitter, so that therefore the outside of the slipper itself wasn't as stretchy as it should have been. The original sizing that she said was I think a 6 or an 8. I probably could have gotten away with like a 10 and a 10 and a half. And since I don't have those needles, it's going to be put aside and hopefully I'll figure out some way of getting this idea of mine done. All right. So I do have a few things that I have been dreaming about doing next. And some of them are very important and some of them are just things that I'm thinking about kicking about for ideas. I do want to start the wedding even star for MTI's new sister-in-law as soon as I possibly can because an even star I have been told takes about a year and they are getting married in less than a year. So I should get going, right? The second thing I want to cast on, preferably soon-ish, is the Coffee Date shawl by CC Almond. Absolutely love this. I have the yarn and everything ready to go for it too, so I don't know why I haven't started. Oh, right. I need clear needles. I have so many projects on the needles, guys. You would never believe it. The other thing that I've been thinking about doing recently is actually knitting through all of CC's like Coffee with CC book. Basically, there are 6 sock patterns as well as that coffee date pattern. I have my eye on all of them. They are all awesome patterns, and there are a few others that I want to do by CC as well, including a few Doctor Who related ones. But that's another story for another time, right? Okay, let's move on to enabling. I have to say, only a few shipments came in over the past month compared to what I actually did buy. Um, let's just say, falling off the yarn diet wagon, I did I do that very well. Most of what was ordered in October, but not much actually has arrived since we talked. The new shipments that I did a couple weeks ago, they haven't come in yet. So just stay tuned. There will be more pretties next month. Don't worry. The first that came in is a order from Webs. Two different skeins of Arnie and Carlos Regia. One, this is the tin colorway, and then I also have the gnome colorway as well. They are so pretty, and I can't wait to get started. Socks for myself, y'all. I'm telling you, next year is going to be your year of socks. It just is. The next shipment that came in was from Blue Moon Fiber Arts, the Silk Thread 2 in the snowflake colorway that I will need for the shawl for the wedding. So wish me luck, y'all. I've got everything I need. Just got to get it going, right? The next thing that showed up was my plucky shipment. We had the enchantment colorway. Also have some give a hoot and some and putty in my hands, which is actually this one. See, putty? Ooh, putty in my hands. It's so pretty. Oh, and that's enchantment. I'm gonna love working with this. I believe, if I remember correctly, I either want to work on another Melanie Berg shawl on those colorways, or I think I might use it for the coffee date. I haven't quite made up my mind with that yet, but I know I want to do a 3-color shawl with it. It's so pretty. All right, so the next shipment that came in this month was for from Lorna's Laces. These both are going to be shepherd sock. This is the multi colorway, Laurel Eyes colorway, and then this one is the denim that I'm obviously have been using in the Melanie Burke pattern. Oh my God, it's so beautiful! It's so beautiful and squishy. Oh, now I got myself dreaming about that shawl again. I'm sorry, guys. Like I said, I see yarn and I just want to use it and use it and anyway, the last shipment I'm going to talk about is the Lions brand shipment. I got three different colors. Two of them are Vanna's Choice. The first one is the silver gray, and that is the mint. So you can see I already put them into the blanket probably about an hour after receiving the shipment. Let's be fair. And then the third one is going to be another baby blanket for another coworker. That one is the pastel blue colorway. It is the Pound of Love by Lion Brand as well. So I'm intending that one to be a basket weave pattern as well. And I'll show you more pictures when I get to it. Oh, so what you reading, Silver? Um, not as much as I would like. Um, the first thing I'm actually going to mention is what I finished this month, which is only two books. The first one is a book called Masquerade. Basically, it was just a bit of fluff to get me through the month whenever I needed like something really fun to read. The second thing is what I was listening to last month. I did finish the BBC version of Jane Austen's favorite works. I did enjoy listening to this so much, you have no idea. I at one point decided that I was going to listen to it only in the mornings before I got ready for work, so that way at least it kept moving. Oh, absolutely love it. There's so many different people involved in that project. I cannot wait to like see if they can find another one. Not necessarily Jane Austen, but I think I have. Yes, I do. I have Sherlock Holmes I can listen to for the BBC version. Oh, it'll be awesome. It'll be awesome. Let's see. I'm sad to say there was a book that I gave up on about midway through the book this month. Is a book called Chaos. I have really good reasons, I promise. I actually was supposed to be doing this for a book review. I wrote a blog entry with all of my reasons for starting this book and for why I ultimately gave it up. If you really want to read through it, which I do suggest you do, because, don't get me wrong, I do try to give books their fair shot, but this book I just couldn't. If you want to see more, it's at www.dreamysilver2112.com, which I will put the website directly under this little heading here, so that way you can see it. But yeah, what I am currently reading on is actually reading on. What I am currently reading are two different books. One is a physical book, Seven Up. It's the part of the Numbers series still. I haven't read too much, I'm going to be perfectly honest. Just my concentration levels have not been there when it comes to reading. But however, I have been listening to Rock Chick Renegade, which is the next in the Rock Chick series, and it's super awesome. And I just can't wait to get back to it. So I keep reading it. I think I have like 4 hours, maybe four and a half, between 4 and 4.5 hours left of the book, and I cannot wait to get back to it. Um, but yeah, you'll see why I haven't gotten a lot of reading done in the next section. I am going to take a quick drink and then I will get started on that. So, what you watching, Silver? Well, the short answer is much. Quite a bit. I probably watched more TV than I read this month. So for TV shows, there were quite a few. I ended up watching a lot of Doctor Who this time around up until the end of series 9. I have to admit, I think he has grown on me. Didn't think, did not think he would, but he did. Can't wait to see what this new season brings. I also watched a little bit of the Day of the Doctor series, which I have to be honest, I just got to the An Adventure in Time and Space right before I started recording today. I have to admit I was pretty much bawling by the end. Not the fact that William Hartnell thought that he was being forced out and didn't want to go. It was actually the head nod that he gave to Matt Smith, who at the time of this video was actually the latest reincarnation of the Doctor. It totally threw me over, y'all. Let me tell you, I suggest go watch it. You'll see what I mean. I also, during this month, watched the Matt Smith Christmas episodes as well. I have yet to watch the David Tennant years and the in last year's. Last year's is actually on my DVR, so be aware you'll see lots and lots more Doctor Who from me over the next month too. Let's see. I also was watching the rest of the Gilmore Girls up until the end of the series. I also watched the new Gilmore Girls reboot, The Year in the Life, all of them. I'm going to tell you right now, I made a promise to not mention much. The only, and I'm not going to give any spoilers just in case somebody hasn't completely watched it by now. I know a lot of my friends have caught up. And wouldn't mind me saying anything, but the only thing that I am really going to mention is my comment on the last four words of the series. I'm just going to say, holy shit balls, y'all. Now, I'm really hoping that Netflix sets this up for a second season because it just I don't know, it seemed like it was just unfinished. But I think that's how Amy originally wrote it, so we have to go with it because that's how she is. She's awesome. I love her. Don't get me wrong. The next series that I did watch this month was Stargate up to season 3, which is on disc 4. Up to Joel and R's Memories is the episode that I got up to. So there's a lot more action happening and things like that as well. So not only did I watch some TV shows, older TV shows, some new, I also got a chance to watch through a bunch of my favorite podcasts. I'm going to mention them by name only because I haven't in a while. The Geeky Girls Net podcast, I did watch quite a bit of them this month, anywhere from episodes 42 to 66, mostly stopping to watch Doctor Who episodes and episodes that they were mentioning, and because I didn't want to be spoiled for the episodes they were talking about, so I wanted to catch up. I also watched several episodes of the Knit Girls, actually a total of 4 of them if you include Monday's episode, or Sunday's episode rather. I did watch a few episodes of the Stockinette Zombies. Have to say I bawled a little bit about the episode about Max. Max is one of their cats who actually passed. I'm just gonna touch on that quick and then move on. The next thing I'm going to mention is the Innes Knit podcast. She also had a death in her family, so I'm sorry for your losses, guys. I really do feel for you guys. Like I said, I'm not entirely heartless. I just wanted to say, I am sorry, and then I am going to move on because I am not going to dwell on any more sadness right now because it's all about the happy. Okay, so around the twist. I watched you. Don't worry, I caught up. I absolutely love the fact that not everything goes smoothly with your podcast either. Yeah, a lot of things on the technical side of mine kind of, so it helped. It helped. Anyway, I did also pick up the Yarn Hoarder podcast. I did do one episode. It's still new to me, so I'm going to catch up a little bit more after I finish recording today. I also caught up on all of Cultivate and Create. She had maybe one episode or two before the beginning of November there that I am caught up on. Finally, absolutely love her. Also, the Knitting Broomstick podcast. I have watched. I actually caught up with all of her Vlogmas episodes. Oh, I cannot wait. And it's a good undertaking to try to push yourself to do an episode a day. I don't have the ambition to do that, so I have to give her props for that. So well done, Jilly. Yay. Okay, so on to movies I watched. Not as many as I would like, but I am kind of getting into the Christmas thing here. I did watch The Santa Claus and The Santa Claus 2, as well as The King and I. Yes, The King and I is one of my mom and my favorite movies. So I posted a picture directly right after I watched it, or while I was watching it, I paused it and put up a screen grab of random scene that, she really likes. So you're welcome, Mom. All right. And some other things that I managed to watch that weren't movies or TVs or podcasts. I spent a lot of time on YouTube this month. I'm going to tell you. I spent a lot of time looking through David Tennant videos on YouTube, including like awards that he's won, award ceremonies, and things like that. I don't know. I don't know why. I wanted to. I also watched a lot of Gilmore Girls teasers, trailers, and different interviews and things like that. And there was a reunion episode thing that I watched, including the farewell to Richard that they put up for that too. I also managed to watch through the Lizzie Bennett Diaries on YouTube again. It is essentially Pride and Prejudice, but for the YouTube generation. There are about 100 episodes, like, or mini-sodes rather. It took me about 10 hours to get through it, mostly because there was also like side videos that go with it too. That's part of the story, and I had missed it the first time, not realizing that it was actually part of the story that they were trying to tell. So I watched through it all this time. I absolutely love it. I recommend it, y'all. I'll have to put the link in as well into the notes. That way you can see it for yourself. Let's see. Hoi! My timer says I'm up to about 36 minutes. So I'm going to start the process of getting us out here. So I am pretty social. You can find me on our Ravelry board, which is Silver's Dreamland Podcast. I am actually Silver Luna 2112 there on Ravelry. On Facebook, Silver's Dreamland can be found at facebook.com/backslash wow Silver's Dreamland. On Instagram, I am both Silver's Streets and Silver's Dreamland. I tend to answer and respond onto Silver's Streets a lot faster. However, you can send it to the other one if you would like. On Twitter, I am at Silver's Knitting. Just so you know, I do tend to read through all messages as soon as I possibly can. It comes right to my phone, so I do try. However, if you don't happen to hear from me within 24 hours, please feel free to email me directly at silversdreamland@gmail.com. That way I can go ahead and respond to you a little bit quicker. Like I said, it goes to my phone. So I'm actually going to leave you with one final thought. And it's a quote. Maybe you might know this one. I never thought it was such a bad little tree. It's not bad at all, really. Maybe it just needs a little love. If you couldn't tell, this was Charlie Brown from A Charlie Brown Christmas. Oh, I absolutely love this quote. Just remember, through this holiday season, it doesn't matter which holidays you celebrate as long as you celebrate with them with family. Just remember that everyone needs a little extra love this holiday season, and try not to judge people too harshly for the things that they say and do, because a lot of regret comes out of saying something silly at the holiday times. Just give them the benefit of the doubt. All right, y'all. I hope to post something before the new year, but just in case I happen to miss you, I'll definitely be recording January the 4th. Have a happy holidays and a wonderful new year. Happy crafting, y'all.